Hello everyone, welcome back to Atreyu Crochet. So, even after making my really long, thick, warm Tunisian scarf, which is reversible, just had to throw that in there, I still have some leftover super bulky, super chunky yarn. So, I'm going to make a hat. Now, full disclosure, I already recorded a video where I made a hat and I used quite a bit of yarn for that, which is why I don't really have any black left. I had a lot of black left, but I don't. I used it in that other hat. But I think that hat is a little bit too complicated for the very beginner to make before Christmas. Not necessarily, but I just don't want to put extra pressure on you. So I have conceptualized a simpler hat, which I think you guys can definitely get done along with the scarf in time for Christmas for those of you who celebrate Christmas. So, if you are looking to make a hat and scarf combination to present to someone as a gift, or if you just want to make it for yourself in time for Christmas, then definitely watch this video. The other hat tutorial that I created, which I think is a little bit more complex and will take you a little bit longer, will be posted on my normal posting day, which I'm sure you guys probably know by now is Sunday. So yeah, let's get started. Things you will need include a pair of scissors, a darning, weaving, tapestry needle. Okay, you're always going to need the scissors and the darning, weaving, tapestry needle. Why? Because you're going to cut your yarn at some point and then you're going to have to weave in that beginning and ending tail. Okay, yarn, obviously, as I said before, these are the remnants of the super bulky, super chunky yarn. And then we're going to be using that same 10mm crochet hook that we used to make the scarf, okay, because we kind of want it to match. And yes, this is still the extended Tunisian crochet hook, but it doesn't matter. Let's get started. Alright, so we're going to start out with a slip knot, twist, exchange, pull that over. Pull that one over the first one and off while pulling up. And now we're going to grab our size 10mm, and that is US crochet hook, Tunisian crochet hook. And we are going to chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay? Now we are going to put 14 double crochets in that very first chain that we made right there. Or another way of looking at it is the 1, 2, 3, 4th chain from the crochet hook. So that very first chain, put our first double crochet, yarn over, go into the chain, and you guys know I like to get 2 loops. I call it getting some meat, being meaty. Alright, pull through to the front, 3 loops, yarn over, go through 1, 2, yarn over, go through 1, 2. Next double crochet, yarn over, re-enter that chain, yarn over, pull through to the front, yarn over, go through 1, 2, yarn over, go through 1, 2. Okay, one more, yarn over, enter that very first same chain again, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. Okay, so we're going to continue putting these double crochets in that very first chain, and you're going to have a total of 14 double crochets. And then when we count this chain 3 at the beginning, we will have a total of 15 stitches. I will meet you there. Alright, right now I have a total of 14 stitches when I count that chain 3. Okay, and remember I need a total of 15 stitches when I count that chain 3 as a stitch. So I'm going to go in here one more time, but I just want to show you that as you go around that hole, that chain kind of closes up a little bit. So yarn over, just enter the hole, yarn over, pull through to the front, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. And now we have a total of 15 stitches, okay? We crocheted 14 double crochets, and then when we add this chain 3 at the beginning, that's a total of 15 stitches, okay? Alright, so now we are going to slip stitch into the 1, 2, 3, third chain up. So we'll insert our crochet hook, get 2 loops, make it meaty, yarn over, and pull all the way through. Now we're going to step up by chaining 3, 1, 2, and 3. Alright, so this was round 1, which has 15 stitches. Now we're on round 2, and this is an increase round, and basically we're just going to double every stitch. So in every stitch we're going to put 2 stitches. Now this chain 3 goes for that chain 3, but remember I said this stitch along with every other stitch needs to get 2 stitches, so I'm going to put a double crochet right in that same place where I slip stitched. 1, 2. Now that chain 3 from round 1 has 2 stitches. It has the chain 3 as the first stitch and the double crochet as the second. Moving to the next stitch, which is here. Slice the icing off the top of the cake, as I like to say. Going through the top of the stitch, yarn over, pull through to the front, yarn over, go through 2, yarn over, go through 2. But we're not done with that stitch because remember every stitch gets 2 stitches in this round. So we'll add another double crochet in that same stitch. And now this stitch has 2 stitches as well. Continue in that fashion until you get back around here, and I'll meet you at this last stitch. Alright, I am at this last stitch, and it's going to get 2 double crochets as has every other double crochet in round 1. Okay. Now if you're wondering how many stitches you should have, well, you had 15 stitches in round 1, and then we doubled, meaning we put 2 stitches in each of those 15 stitches for round 2, so 15 times 2 is 30. You should have a total of 30 stitches counting this chain 3 there. Speaking of the chain 3, it's time to slip stitch. So we'll slip stitch into the 1, 2, 3, third chain up. Get 2 loops, nice and meaty. Alright, now we're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so I'm going to increase one more round because I know that I want this to get a little bit bigger, and it needs to get a little bit bigger so that it will fit my head. If you're making this for like a child, this might be good enough. This next round might be big enough for you as well as it will be for me. Or if you have an even bigger head, you can do more increase rounds. But the pattern will be 1, so 1 stitch in that stitch, and then the next stitch I'm going to put 2 stitches. So that chain 3 got that chain 3. Therefore this stitch, this next stitch, will get the 2. And when I say 2, I just mean it gets 2 double crochets. So 1, okay, and then right back in there for 2. The pattern repeats. Next stitch, which is there, gets 1, and the next stitch will get 2. So back in that same stitch to get 2. So pattern 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay? Continue in this fashion, and I will meet you at this last stitch. You should end on the 2. So we are now at the final 2 stitches, and I just want to start here to show you that it's going to end on the 2. So this third to last stitch got 2, so that means the next stitch gets 1. And the final stitch, which is there, gets 2. That's 1, and back in there for 2. Okay, so this is big enough for my head. Okay, I don't need another increase round, but as I said, if you do, then you can make your 4th round 1, 2, 3, the 4th round an increase round, and instead of the pattern being 1, 2, 1, 2, it would be 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. Okay, so at this point I am going to slip stitch into the 1, 2, 3, third chain up, nice and meaty, getting 2 loops, yarning over and pulling all the way through. Now I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and I don't have any more increase rounds, so that means that every stitch around, which by the way, round 3 had 45 stitches, so 15. Then we doubled. 2 times 15 is 30, so round 2 had 30 stitches. Then round 3, we only doubled every other stitch. So that's why round 3 will have 45 stitches, okay? And just in case you don't see the math, 30 divided by 2 is 15. So 15 plus 30 is the 45 stitches for round 3. Alright, so that means that this round and every other round will only have 45 stitches. So this chain 3 is for that chain 3, so that one stitch gets that one. This next stitch, that double crochet, gets 1 double crochet. The next stitch gets what? Yeah, 1 double crochet. Okay, so every stitch around gets 1 double crochet. I will meet you once you get back here. Alright, I am at my last stitch there, so I'm just going to put my 1 double crochet in it. Then I'm going to slip stitch into the 1, 2, 3, third chain up, yarn over, and pull all the way through. Alright, so now I'm going to do 2 more rounds just like that. Okay, putting 1 stitch into every stitch. So I'll start by chaining 3. That chain 3 is for that one. That's the one stitch for that. Next stitch gets a double crochet, and so on. So complete this round, slip stitch, chain 3, and do it again, and then I will meet you there. So as you can see, your hat is going to start to curve in, okay? And it's because we're no longer increasing, we're just maintaining the 45 stitches for each successive round. Okay, so now I'm going to slip stitch into the third chain up, 1, 2, 3, yarn over, pull all the way through, and I'm going to chain 1, 2, and for this round I'm going to go from double crochets to half double crochets. So remember, half double crochet is just yarn over the once, enter the stitch, yarn over, pull through 3 loops, yarn over, and go through all 3 loops. Okay, so go around putting 1 half double crochet in every stitch below, and I will meet you once you get here. Alright, so now that I have crocheted my final half double crochet in that final stitch, I'm going to insert my hook into the 1, 2 second chain up, or the top chain now, and I'm going to yarn over and pull all the way through for a slip stitch. Okay, this time I am going to go in the back loops of the stitch, and I'm just going to pull up a loop. So here's the next stitch, that's the first half double crochet. So I'm going to insert my crochet hook in that back loop and pull up a loop like that. Okay, the next stitch is here. Look at the top, this is the front, that's the back, going to the back, yarn over, once you get it all, yarn over, pull up, go in the back, yarn over, pull up. Okay, next one, yarn over, pull up, yarn over, pull up. Okay, so now we're transitioning back to Tunisian crochet, if you're wondering when that was going to come into play. Okay, continue doing that all the way until you get back around here, and I will meet you there. Okay, so we are down to one last half double crochet where we need to pull up on a loop. So we enter that back loop, yarn over, and pull up. Alright, and you can tell we're back around because here's that first loop. So now what I want you to do is to insert your crochet hook, your Tunisian crochet hook, into that loop that's already on the extended part of the Tunisian crochet hook, like that, yarn over, and just pull through like that. Okay, and now I'm going to bring in a different color. So I'm going to bring in this light green. Okay, I'm going to introduce this color now. So I'm going to yarn over, and you remember with the return pass you always chain 1, so that's what this is going to be right now. So I'm yarning over, and that's my chain 1 right there. Now I'm going to work backwards and yarn over and go through 2 as I do with the return pass. Yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2, yarn over, go through 2, 1, 2. Okay, also right now you can take this tail of the green and just tie a couple of knots with the red yarn that's still connected to the ball. Okay, so 1 and then a second one to make sure it's secure, 2. All right, and now we're just gonna work in the reverse direction, yarning over and going through 2. Okay, you can scoot your stitches up so that it makes it easier for you to maneuver your crochet hook through them. Okay, and just continue in this fashion until we get down to 2 loops. Okay, I will see you there. All right, so now we're down to 2 loops, and this is that first loop, and it is also the same one that we went through when we went around this way. So what we're going to do is yarn over and go through 2 like that. Okay, now you guys, what we're going to do is we're going to grab the red, which is just there, yarn over, pull through, and then pull down on the green. We can just stuff it in our hat, and we're going to pull up some loops going back in the forward direction. So you know that we skipped this stitch because that loop is for that one. So we go on the next vertical line or vertical bar, yarn over and pull up. And you guys know this if you've seen my other Tunisian crochet videos. This is the Tunisian simple stitch. Okay, so continue doing this all the way back around here to that vertical bar, and I will meet you there. Alright, we are down to this last vertical bar. How do I know that's the last one? Because it corresponds to that last half double crochet down there. So insert your hook, yarn over, pull up. But to keep this connected, what we do is we go into there. So we go into the loop that is already on the hook, and then we yarn over and pull up a loop like that. Okay, now it's time to introduce another color, and that color is going to be this charcoal. Just reintroducing these colors that I used in my scarf, so it'll kind of match. If you're going for a Christmassy theme, then you can just work with the green and the red that I'm working with, but I'm introducing the charcoal now. I'm going to pull down on that red, and then I'm going to tie a couple of knots like I did before with the green and the red. So 1, 2, now I'm going to chain 1, okay, and now yarn over and go through 2, just like before. Okay, so just continue doing this all the way around, and I'll meet you once you get down to 2 loops. See you there. Alright, so we're down to 2 loops, yarn over, and go through both. Alright, this loop, that vertical line or bar is for that one, so we're going to drop this gray now, and we can put that, or the charcoal, we'll put that in our hat as well. And we'll pick up the red, which is just right there again. Pull through, tug on the charcoal to kind of make it small. So I guess technically that bar is for that one. So that bar is for that one. So we'll go into the next one and pull up. And just continue in this fashion until you get around here. I will see you there. Alright, so we're to that last vertical bar. So I'm going to insert my crochet hook like that, yarn over, pull through to the front. Alright, and now remember to keep it connected so that there's no gap. Just insert your crochet hook there, yarn over, and pull through. Now I am going to bring in this beautiful color right here. I love this turquoise. Hook it on, pull through like that, and then I'm going to pull on the red to reduce that, and now I'm going to tie a couple of knots between the tail of the turquoise and the red. Okay, now I'm going to make my way back around this way, and you guys already know, just yarn over and go through 2. Yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over, go through 2. If I happen to run out, and that's the kind of precarious situation that you're in when you're working with remnants, then I will attach the orange and continue around. And if that's not enough, then I'll get some from the green or from the charcoal. But I really hope I can make it all around in the turquoise, as I just love that color. It just really pops. So continue around, and I'll meet you once we get down to 2 loops over here. Probably can't see because of the tail, but yeah, over here. Alright, you guys, I made it. So happy about that. Yarn over and go through the last 2. Okay, so now I am done with that, and you know what, I really don't think this is enough to go around with, so I think I'm going to bind off now. Okay, so what I'm going to do is grab this red, pull it through like that, tug on the turquoise, and then I'm going to cut the turquoise down, and then I'm going to tie a couple of knots. 1, 2. Alright, so now this will be a bind off row, or round, because we are working in rounds. Alright, so that loop is for that one. So we're going to go in here, and the next vertical bar or line, yarn over, and pull all the way through. Okay, next one, yarn over, pull all the way through. So kind of like slip stitches. Yarn over, pull all the way through. Go in there, yarn over, pull all the way through. To get my yarn situated, I'm at a weird angle. Okay, go in there, yarn over, pull all the way through. Okay, so just continue doing that. You see it's creating a nice top, and I will meet you once you get back around here. Alright, so we're at this last bar there, so I'm going to insert my crochet hook, as I've been doing all along, yarn over, and pull all the way through. Okay? Alright, and then there's probably going to be like a little gap there, so you can just go in that area. You can go up there. I'm going to go down there and just insert my hook, yarn over, and slip stitch like that to kind of close it up a little bit. Now I'll yarn over and chain 1, cut my yarn, alright, and fasten off, pull through. Okay, now I didn't know what I was going to do with these while I was working on this, and that's why I left them attached, but now that I see I don't need them, I'm just going to cut them down, and then just tie some knots between them. So 1, 2, okay, you can tie more knots between the others, not that one, but between the other colors. Not too tight, you don't want it to distort your hat, okay, but just tie some knots between them so that you feel comfortable cutting the stragglers, so they're not so much of an eyesore when you look on the inside of your hat. Once you get them enough knots tied, just cut down. Okay, tie a couple of knots here just to be sure. So 1, and then 2. Alright, you can cut that down. And then I'm going to use a smaller hook just to pull this in, because I like my tail to be in, and I'm going to go through a higher stitch, so up there, closer to it. Just pull it in, and then make a loop, and then chain 1. And now I'll cut this down, not all the way, and that'll serve as my tag, so I always know where the back is. This can be cut down as well now. Okay? So this is my hat now, you guys. And I love it because when you add the Tunisian crochet into it, it really gives it like a band effect. Ah, so beautiful, right? So yeah. Alright guys, that's going to be it for this video. But I'll see you in the next one. In the meantime, happy crocheting.